Hello there, Kid Critic fans, and this is a new episode of Talkin' Movies with Kid Critic. And if you do not know what this show is, it's basically where I talk about what's going on in the movie world / movie industry. And if you're not interested in that, then it's a-okay. Just go on and look at my reviews. But if you are interested, then tune in and watch. What is up, guys? Kid Critic is back. That's right, he is back with a new episode of Talkin' Movies with Kid Critic. And you know what? I woke up this morning thinking I am very excited to do a new episode of Talkin' Movies with Kid Critic, mostly because I'm just excited to entertain you Kid Critic fans out there. And sadly, English Kid Critic will not be joining us today. He's busy doing some weird English Kid Critic stuff. He will join us from time to time, as I said before in the previous episode. And with that said, without further ado, let's get into some movie news with the first topic, which is
Leslie Jones hopped on the social medias and totally slammed on the new Ghostbusters film that is slated to release in the summer of 2020, saying that it's offensive to her that Sony is not making a follow-up film to the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, and instead it's a continuation of the original Ghostbusters movies, this time with Jason Reitman behind the camera. What are your thoughts of this story, Kid Critic?
Okay, now before I get into any of this, I will admit that I do enjoy Leslie Jones as a comedic performer, and I did think she was one of the bright spots of the 2016 Ghostbusters film. And with that said, you know, everyone has their moments. Everybody has bad days. And bad days makes people do dumb things. And this was Leslie Jones' moment. I get where she's coming from because she wasn't treated very well on the social medias before the 2016 Ghostbusters film. She was basically getting bullied on there, where she ended up getting off of social media for a very long time. So I definitely see where she's coming from. But to go that far, I mean, this happens all the time in Hollywood. When something doesn't work out, they end up moving on. And like I said in the previous episode, the 2016 Ghostbusters movie did not make a lot of money. It made, like, I believe $229 million, and it costed them, like, I believe $145 million to make, plus marketing, which is that adds up to $250 million. So that lost Sony money. And they're obviously not going to make a sequel to that because that lost Sony money. And, you know, studios don't like losing money. They like to gain the money. And because of that, I mean, that's the main reason why they moved on. But at least Sony took the risk of making an all-female Ghostbusters movie and included her in that. So, I mean, like I said before, everybody has these moments. I get where she's coming from. Probably should have kept her thoughts to herself. And with that said, let's get on to the next topic today.
It has been reported that Edgar Wright's next project is going to be a psychological horror film which takes place in London and is going to start shooting this summer. With that, he also confirmed that a first draft of the Baby Driver sequel does exist.
Okay, I was very excited to hear this news because I'm a huge fan of Edgar Wright. There hasn't been a film that I've seen of his that I've disliked. There's still a couple ones that I haven't seen, like I've still never seen Shaun of the Dead. I know, don't hate me. But hearing this is wonderful because to me, I think what makes the best filmmakers is that they're able to take risks and tell stories in different genres. And if it ends up working, then that makes them brilliant. I mean, look at probably the best filmmaker of all time, Steven Spielberg. He's made Schindler's List. And then that same year, he made a totally different movie in Jurassic Park. He's made Jaws. He's made E.T. He's made Tintin, an animated film. I mean, it's nuts, and I think that's what makes the best filmmakers, when they take risks and go into different genres. And to hear that Edgar Wright is making a psychological horror film just excites me because I love horror movies. They are amazing, especially the good ones. Not a big fan of the bad ones, obviously. And then to hear about the Baby Driver 2 is making progress, I cannot be more excited for this movie because I adore Baby Driver 1. It was probably, well, Logan came out that year, so it's probably my second favorite movie of that year. I love Baby Driver, and to hear that he's taking it in a new way, it just excites me what he does with Baby Driver 2. And Edgar Wright, man, he's just a great human. Now with that said, guys, let's move on to the next topic, which is...
Just like any superhero, everyone has a weakness, and the Merc with a Mouth may just avoid his one and only weakness, which is the Fox-Disney merger. As the sexiest Canadian man alive, Ryan Reynolds is busy promoting Once Upon a Deadpool. He has reported that a Deadpool 3 is in the works, and to add on, he said it's going to be a totally different movie. What are your thoughts on this, Kid Critic?
Alright, I have to admit, when I saw this, I had to double check. So I'm like, is Ryan Reynolds serious right here? Because this just came out of nowhere. And he says that they've been thinking about making the Deadpool 3 movie, and this movie has to go into production within the next couple of months if this movie wants to see itself on the big screen, because there's no possible way that Disney is gonna allow a third Deadpool movie go on the big screen, because I mean, it's Deadpool, that's all that needs to be said. He's the Merc with a Mouth. And unless they've been like writing the movie for like the past year and are actually ready to go, they know who's gonna direct, they know everything, then I think this movie has a shot of making it onto the big screen. I really hope it does, because I love the first Deadpool. I enjoyed the second Deadpool. It's definitely a step down from the first one. But if this ends up happening, I cannot wait, because I did not think Ryan Reynolds was going to step back into the Deadpool shoes. And if it does happen, then count me in as very excited to see this movie. And with that out of the way, I have a special guest today. And I thought, since we're talking about the Merc with the Mouth here, why not bring him onto the show himself, Mr. Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool. In what direction do you plan on taking this new Deadpool film? Alright then, do you know anything about the movie right now? Alright then, well, that's Mr. Poole right there. Yeah, I expected him to talk a little bit more, but probably a little bit camera shy. So with that said, let's move on to the next topic, which is...
Following the recent financial success of last year's Bumblebee, it has been reported that a sequel to Bumblebee plans to be made, as a producer of the film said that they have many ideas for the follow-up film. What are your thoughts of this, Kid Critic?
Hearing that this movie crossed the $400 million mark, I'm like, they have to make a follow-up film to Bumblebee, because not only was this movie profitable, the audience loved it, the critics loved it, and I mean, this movie had to climb a Mount Everest of garbage, because the Transformers franchise was just going off the rail until finally they brought in a good director. No hate on Michael Bay, I do like some of his movies, but they brought in a better director in Travis Knight, and look what happened. And they're gonna take it. They're not gonna bring back Haley Steinfeld, at least I don't think, and I don't think they have to, though I think it'd be really cool if they do bring her back. And I'm curious to see what they do with it. And right now, I mean, Paramount must be patting themselves on the back like, whew, man, we actually made money off of that movie, like, whew. They're probably like wiping off some sweat right now. I'm really happy to see that Bumblebee was successful enough to have a sequel. I can't believe I'm saying that about a Transformers movie, because I don't think I've ever said that ever. And because this movie was good, not good, it was great. And now I'm just excited to see the follow-up to this movie. And this is what Transformers fans deserve after that. All those movies that are just, I just can't speak of it right now. They're just awful. They deserve this right now. Applause to this film. Very excited to see what they do next. And with that said, let's get on to the final and last topic, which is...
Vin Diesel has posted on his Instagram that the next installment in the Fast and the Furious franchise after Hobbs and Shaw, Fast 9, plans to go into production next month in London, and it's also planned for a female-led spin-off film to come out after that. What are your thoughts of this, Kid Critic?
Okay, when I found out that they were making a 9th Fast and Furious movie, I was surprised, but at the same time I wasn't surprised. I was surprised because of all like the drama going around with the actors, but then at the same time, I mean, these movies make a lot of money, and I'm like, well, obviously they're gonna do a 9th one some way, somehow, and I hope that The Rock is in this movie. I don't think he will be. And it's going to make me sad because he's the reason that the Fast and the Furious franchise just got on a whole other level, and it got better in Fast 5 and after Fast 5 because mainly of The Rock, and I just hope he shows up. I hope that him and Vin Diesel they can forgive each other, you know. Same with Tyrese Gibson, and just they can hug it out, you know, bro hug. Be like, you know what, it's alright, man. It's alright, man. I know I said some words. We had our bad days. This is gonna be the theme. You know, you have your bad days. You might say some stuff that you wish you didn't say, and then be like, it's alright, guys. Just hug it out. Let's get over this. And I just hope that happens now with the female-led spin-off movie. The thing that I hope they do with this next Fast and the Furious film is that I just hope they put more of their female characters in the forefront, because I mean, if you asked anybody in the general audience who is Michelle Rodriguez's character's name, they'd be like, I don't know. At least that'd be with most of them. I'm sure there'd be those ones I will know, but most of them don't really know her name. And they definitely need to put her character more in the forefront if they want this movie to get more hype. Because right now, this franchise is mainly Vin Diesel, The Rock, well, R.I.P. Paul Walker, who used to be in it, but yeah, him, and those were the only 3 characters that they would remember. And I do think that they need to put the female characters in the forefront of this upcoming film. And I'm pretty sure Michelle Rodriguez is going to be the lead, obviously, because she's the main female character in this franchise. And I'm curious to see where they take this spin-off film, and I will be there to see it because I want to see it, just like I want to see a lot of movies. And that is all the movie news for today. Now you may be wondering, what type of movie news show is this? You didn't even talk about the Oscar nominations. What the heck? It's the worst show ever. What I'm here to say is, calm down. Everybody just take a breath. There will be a whole video on the Oscar nominations. I'll probably be out within the next day or so. So don't worry. There will be a video on the Oscar nominations because, you know, it's the Oscars. It's the biggest film awards show ever. And with that said, guys, thank you for joining me on this fine day on the 2nd episode of Talking Movies with this fellow right here, Kid Critic. And with that said, guys, look out for the next video or review, but it's probably going to be a video because, you know, Oscar nominations. And that's it, guys. Look out for the next video again. And